Always watch this in the dark because it does not make sense to watch this with light on. Remember, there's always somebody behind you, under you, or maybe even both.
¿Quién está aquí? Is somebody here? Somebody here?
Behind you, I heard behind you.
Behind me?
And when my husband closed the trunk, the kid disappeared.
Say the name of the hospital. Mercy.
Always watch this in the dark.
If y'all haven't hit that subscribe button, if y'all haven't hit that like button, go ahead and do that right now before we get into it. Hey y'all, it's Not the Fair. Welcome back to another video. This is gonna be somewhat like I really want to get into doing podcasts, so maybe this will be like a first podcast kind of thing. So for those who don't know me, I call myself Nata Fe. If I seem kind of off, is because I'm kind of recovering from something, you know. Saturday evening, I had like a little carne asada reunion with some family members that I hadn't seen in a long ass time. And, you know, it was a good night. I got home nearly around... maybe around almost 4 a.m. So I got home, and when I was leaving, I already had like a weird stomach feeling. Like my stomach was kind of feeling off, and from basically 4 in the morning all the way until now, I've been having nonstop, like in and out of the restroom, and it was just like liquid coming out of me, and I felt like shit. I'm barely kind of feeling better, but I have very little energy. I missed work today because I didn't know, honestly, I didn't know how I was going to feel. I didn't know if I was going to feel like shit. I didn't know anything. And so I just basically have been resting all day. And now that I have a little bit more energy, I'm trying to get back into it. And I want to react to some scary stuff. But it was bad, like, y'all. Like, it was bad. I was so weak. I don't know how the fuck I did it. I don't know how I did it. Like, I was just crying nonstop. Like, not crying. I was just, like, shitting, like, nonstop. And I threw up, too. And I couldn't eat. Like, I barely ate. Yesterday, all I ate was, like... all I ate was chicken noodle soup. And I tried to eat a taco from Taco Bell. I mean, from Jack in the Box. And I barely even ate that shit. And I was like, nah, no. It was bad. Like, basically, what I'm mainly having right now is... a bunch of electrolytes because I'm telling my boss that I can go back tomorrow. It's kind of like iffy for me to go back tomorrow because I don't know how I'm gonna react, but hopefully everything is fine. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna do a little podcasting, okay? We're gonna talk about different topics that have been in my brain, like on and off throughout these couple of days that I've been getting into. But the first section is basically, we're just going to talk about normal shit, my life updates or whatever, for those who want to know. And the second part is going to be me talking about some paranormal or crime things, or even me just reacting to scary TikToks. I'm gonna try to get used to it. I need to be more ready and more professional, but I just want to learn and get the hang of these things first. The reason why I'm doing this kind of podcast thing is because Clown Boys. If y'all don't know who they are, check them out. They're really, really good. I love them so much. They motivate me. Every time I see their podcast, they really do motivate me to want to do more videos and keep going, because like they're just so real. You know, they talk about their genuine opinions on certain topics, and they share things that they find interesting, and I like that they have a little bit of everything. So let's get into it. Okay. If y'all haven't hit that subscribe button, if y'all haven't hit that like button, go ahead and do that right now before we get into it. So, there's this thing that I don't know. I don't know if y'all know who Elsie Guevara. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all know who that is. Elsie Guevara, Alo, and like Louis Castro, and like all those people. So there is this thing that happened about a month ago with Elsie. Bro, that shit was so fucking scary. Like, if y'all ever go jet skiing, please be careful when being anywhere, like in the ocean or traveling. Like, no matter how much fun you want to have, like, the more fun you want to have, the more safe you gotta be, basically, because you can literally never know what the fuck is gonna happen. So there's like this whole drama going on with Elsie and this girl, Jackie Otera. So basically they were on this trip. I don't know, like all these influencers were there, and everybody was like getting on the jet ski, and they were on this boat nonstop, like having fun, whatever. Jackie gets on a jet ski with Elsie, and Jackie's the one who's driving. And I don't know what the fuck happened. Like Elsie was trying to like hook something or buckle herself, and I guess Jackie, they both explained their side of the story, but genuinely, like, no one really knows what happened, only the ones that were there. And everybody has their own side of the story. You should check out their videos. So basically, Elsie falls because Jackie goes and like she throttles, and she goes she basically drives off, not double checking if Elsie was really held on to her, because she felt Elsie, but in reality that could have been Elsie's like knees, and she didn't double check before she took off on the jet ski. So Elsie, with her legs open, the jet ski took off, and she stayed in that position like mid-air and falls back, and all the pressure that the jet ski applied with the water hits Elsie's abdominal area, and like really like fucking injured her, basically popped her ovary and injured her intestines. She had to get surgery just so they can make sure that none of the organs were like punctured or anything. The only thing that was punctured, I believe, was her ovary, her left ovary, because when that happened, like that whole accident, when she fell, she started bleeding, and everybody thought she was like having a miscarriage or something. And it turned out that she had ruptured one of her ovaries, because she did say that when all that happened, she knew that it was something with her uterus or her down there, because she felt like really like a lot of fucking pain, and I don't know where she just started like chorreando, like a lot of blood. And I was like, fuck, like that is fucking scary. We need to be careful. I don't know how to swim, so I don't think I would ever like be on a jet ski or anything like that, but like you never know in like any situation. And like, I saw the video that Jackie put, and I really like, I low-key now I kind of understand, like she didn't seem like a piece of shit, because everybody was like putting her out, but there are some things that made me question stuff that she didn't talk about in the video. So it's like a whole bunch of drama. Like if y'all want to catch up on that, check out Elsie's video. And Elsie's already recovering, so that's like good. And Jackie is just like there. She does look like she feels some kind of like remorse or something, but she didn't explain a lot of things. That Yati was mad at Jackie also, because Jackie was basically like low-key blaming her boyfriend Alex, that he was the one who was driving. He drove the jet ski, but after the whole accident, because he was trying to drive the girls while Jackie was holding Elsie. He was trying to drive them back to the boat. So, but like Jackie was just being so suspicious and everything, and I don't really know what the fuck is happening, like in general. I don't know if Jackie is like genuinely like remorseful or something, but thank God everyone's okay. Thank God Elsie's better. Because they had also, when Elsie was doing the video with her sisters, like Elsie basically put a video with her sisters. They were talking about their point of view, and then one of the sisters went, when they went to the hospital with Elsie, they were saying there was a similar incident that happened, like what happened with Elsie, but there was another person that had a similar incident and they didn't make it. So the sister was like freaking out, like, please, like, I guess they were trying to prepare the sister, like, if she doesn't make it, like, you know, it's happened literally right before. So everybody was just freaking out, but like now Elsie's better, and that is super scary. Another thing that I wanted to get into. Oh my God, bruh. Another thing that I want to fucking get into, y'all. Oh my God, the Nick Avocado situation. Oh my God. To be honest, I always knew that was shit. Like, I always knew his videos were like not real, because you don't go. I mean, I do get it. Like, some people do. Like, I do know that people have mental breakdowns and stuff, but yeah, like when I would see his videos, it seems so fake. Like, it seems so fucking fake. But sometimes it didn't. Like, and I was like, I can't believe it. Like, all that for a fucking social experiment. Like, really, damn, yeah. That's fucking crazy, y'all. That is literally fucking crazy. I like looking at his pictures. You can just tell, like, he's not okay in the head. Damn, that's fucking crazy. Hold on. Let me just show y'all. Because I'm literally on the page. I don't know, like, he just also doesn't seem like he's all there, to be honest. Like, he doesn't seem... Like, how do you go from, like, that? I don't know. I think, like, low-key, in the middle of the whole social experiment, like, he kind of did absorb that character within himself, because, like, it's just, like, he really got into that character. He really did. You know, he really did do it. He really did. And I don't know. I don't think I could have the patience to do that shit. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Back. So, it kind of does seem like, I don't know, like, comment down what you all think. Comment down what you all think, because honestly, that's a very, very intense situation that he put himself through, and he endured a lot of hate because he did that. You know, he did that. Everything that he put himself through, he knew what he was doing, and I don't know, like, it's crazy. I wonder, like, if he enjoyed what he was doing, though. Like, did he enjoy eating all that food? I know I would, but at the same time, like, he really did make a mess of himself, and it was all a show. Like, it was all not real. I kind of think that it's kind of scary, though, because the way that he's acting now, it's like he's giving, like, wannabe villain vibes, and it's like, I don't know how I feel about that. He's giving, like, wannabe villain vibes. Like, he's like, okay, I did something, you know. That is fucking scary and weird. And another topic, let's see. Another topic that I want to get into, that I want to talk about. Another topic that I want to get into is today's children. You know, the era of today's kids is kind of sad. All these kids are doing their makeup, dressing up, doing skincare. Who the fuck needs a skincare routine at 6 years old, 9 years old? You know, that should be the last shit on your mind. And it kind of is a fault of the economy and the industry of sales and like the people who get into toys and businesses, because sometimes the kids' toys really, I don't know how to say it, like it normalizes a kid applying makeup. And yes, it's fine for them to play with the fake makeup, but if you really think about it, they're kind of like adapting them at a young age to think that it's okay to have a skin routine at their age. And now I see kids on TikTok doing these get ready with me routines and having this whole ass skincare. And these kids are like looking older than they should be, you know? Some of them are 9 looking 12, and some of them are 12 looking 16, and it's not normal. It's not normal. Do not let your kids have a skincare routine if they are 16 and young or 15 and young. I know sometimes it is fine for them to have a skincare routine when they're like in their when they're 15, 16, because it's when it's when acne starts becoming a thing, you know? Like pimple patches, you know, some salicylic acid or whatever the fuck, you know? And that's it. But if you're literally like 12 years old or younger, 13 and younger, you have no fucking business having all this fucking skincare. That is what ages these kids. Yes, have them use some kind of sunscreen protection, you know, but they don't need all this extra shit, you know? It's so crazy. And then it makes these kids normalize to act like adults, and that's not safe for them because of sick people and them dressing up like grown-ass women, you know, in crop tops and shit like that. You're a fucking kid. Why the fuck are you dressing up like that? I don't care. Like, you're not gonna change that for me. Like, if I have a fucking 12-year-old, 13-year-old, you know damn well you're not gonna be fucking using, you know, that kind of shit. Because 1, for your protection, and 2, you're not a grown-ass adult, so don't act like it. Let them, when you have kids, you need to let them enjoy being a kid. Because once they become an adult, or once they become old enough to realize, hey, I was a kid and I didn't have this experience. Why do all these other people have these normal kid experience and I don't? Like, you know, they were worrying about all these adult shit, and now that they're adults, they feel like they never really had, you know, they never really had any nostalgic memories to look back to. And it's kind of sad, you know, it's really fucking sad. So in reality, we need to pay attention to that. You don't need to be putting your fucking toddler in a fucking 2-piece, you know, bikini, or in a 2-piece, you know, crop top and shorts and shit. You don't need to be doing that. Like, why? You're just fucking, one, you're provoking your child's safety. You're making your child like some sort of target for these sick fuckers. You know, there's a lot of sick people out there. And yes, we want them to look cute and everything, but you need to think about it. They don't have no reason to be dressing up like an adult would. You know, we don't need that. They need to dress up in like those fucking strawberry shortcake overalls or like cute kid shit. Like, it's just kids because they're kids. They need to enjoy being a kid for as long as they can. And I feel like a lot of us growing up, sometimes we would forget to enjoy being our age, because we didn't realize what was ahead of us. We didn't realize the dark and crazy shit that was, in our lives. So that is something that triggers the fuck out of me when I see a kid like acting grown as fuck. Like, girl, you have no idea how lucky you are. Enjoy your age. Enjoy being young, because once you hit those, those adult years, you're just gonna go through heartbreak, financial problems. If you grow into a financially able family, like, good for you. But like most of us, we grew up with a lot of heartbreak, financial stability problems, a lot of mental issues because of situations that we go through. And it's just the way life is. We all go through different things. So why do we want our kids to grow faster? Don't take away all their fucking skincare routine. Let them enjoy being a fucking kid. Go tell them to play outside in the dirt or something. And then stop with all that fucking electronic shit. It's fine for them to have electronics once in a while, because that's the new us. That's new. It's going to be a part of us. But also, let them enjoy physical things, like playing pretend with teacups and shit like that, or if they're boys, play with cars. That's something we gotta push, because we are responsible for the new generation, so yeah. And I know it sometimes can be easier to have your kid distracted in the tablet when you go shopping, because sometimes it be throwing tantrums. I don't know what it is with these tablet kids. These iPad kids be throwing tantrums like so bad. Don't let your kids grow too fast, okay? Okay, another thing that I wanted to get into. I feel like my camera's gonna die, bro. I hate that shit. But literally, I wanted to get into something really quick about a video that I posted previously. So basically, I quit my other job. I'm working in another job, and it's a lot more better, more money, and more motivation. People actually want to work at where I work. And I did a video about why you should not work at a gas station, because it's really bad. I couldn't even have a 30-minute break, and I would sometimes work 7 to 9 hours. Usually it was 7 hours or 8 hours on Friday. No break. They would complain if I would go to the restroom. And I knew that was illegal. I knew it. But, I stayed chill. And the manager was very disrespectful. I made a whole video about it, but there's a lot of details that I forgot to add in. My coworkers were just constantly, like, I guess it was just a chain of effect. Everybody was just treating each other like shit nonstop. Yeah, don't work in a gas station, trust me. Like, do not. Like, there's so much, like, they do not give a fuck. If a regular job does not give a fuck about you, this is worse. They would literally get mad at me because I had to take a shit. I couldn't even take a shit. And I will work from 6 to 1 in the morning, 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. So I had to take a shit. If I wake up early, I have to take a shit. My metabolism kicks in. And they would have me sometimes alone for like 3 hours. And I was still technically in training. I didn't even have a week. And they would have me alone. And yes, it's simple, but the machine has so many buttons that I don't understand how all of them worked. And it did take me a while to get used to it. They had me alone. That's fucking weird. Fuck that shit. Some people stayed in that job knowing how shitty it is. Don't stay at a job just because you know it. Just because it's comfortable. Just because you want to deal with it. No. Don't deal with anything like that. Like, you don't have to deal with that shit. So, yeah, I didn't last. I'm not going to tolerate any of that shit. Yeah, if you guys have any thoughts or crazy stories when it comes to working with pieces of shit, please comment it down below or DM me about it, because I feel like we can rant and relate on a lot of things. Guys, welcome to the second part. Let me just cover my feet. I don't know if my feet are showing, but you do not want to see them. Welcome to the second part of the podcast. Okay, so basically I filmed the video and then I started to feel sick. I'm already feeling better. Basically what I have is called mesenteric adenitis. Basically it's like inflammation around my organs, like my lymph nodes are inflamed, and that's what's causing all the symptoms. I don't know, whatever the fuck. This is my second time getting this, and it's weird because it's very common more in kids. So I don't understand. Maybe it's just something that I don't know what's wrong with me, but enough of that. Let's get into the topic of horrors, of crime, or things I'm really not sure, but I have 3 things that I really for sure want to get into talking about, because these are just things that I cannot believe happened. One thing that I want to talk about is from a personal experience that I've been looking back on nonstop. Like, I have just been nonstop thinking about this for the past week, because I heard there's this podcast that I follow, and they were talking about duendes, and y'all know how I feel about duendes. Like, it's really not fun. Also, can y'all tell I got some couches? I finally got some couches, and they're very comfortable. I passed out in them last night. I slept like 12 hours in these. So, very, very comfortable. I think this is going to be like a little where I'm going to set up. I know it's my living room, but I think this is where, like, if I interview someone, I'm going to have them here. I just need to get like a little mesita, and so we can, But yeah, they're so comfortable. So that's why I decided to do it here. I don't know how I look. I know I probably look fat. So I wanted to look back on this experience that I had experienced, and I've talked about it a lot of times before, but this is an experience that I had and I wasn't alone. I'm gonna repeat this experience because I know a lot of people don't know this experience, so I'd rather just go over it and you share your thoughts. What do you think? But when you think about this, I was hearing this podcast and it made me think maybe what I experienced was actually duendes, because now I don't know where I'm hearing people experience the invisible duendes, like little feet running. If you can hear stuff in the background, it's because it's raining and my dog is outside just chewing on some water bottles. She loves water bottles. She loves to chew on them. This experience that I had, I was sitting on the edge of the bed with my aunt, and her bed was right next to the doorway. So everything or anything or anyone that passed by, we can see. The door was wide open. So it's like the middle of the night. I don't know exactly what time. I think I'm in elementary or maybe in middle school. And I keep, like, we're just chit-chatting, it's just a normal regular night. I don't remember even if it's summer or school night. I just know that everybody was asleep except for me and her. Out of nowhere, we hear every time I try to film something I get. And today I just got some cameras. So I keep getting like notifications that my dog's there, and I'm like, oh my god. I just keep checking. Right now I have something else to talk about these cameras, but hold up, let me finish my story. And out of nowhere, we hear what sounds like little feet, like bare feet of a child, run up to us like really fast. Like, it was so fucking scary and weird, but I said nothing because as a kid, you can tell, as a kid, I've always been the kind of person like that was just so involved, and I absorbed any kind of thing and try to make it into something that it wasn't, or I was just so into the paranormal that I really wanted to experience. So I told myself, no, I'm just tripping, I don't want to sound like weird or whatever. But I slowly turned to my aunt and I realized that we're both looking at each other. And she asked me if I heard what she heard, and I said the feet, right? Like somebody running up to us or whatever. Something along those lines. And yeah, it was confirmed that we both heard the same thing. We heard invisible feet, and I always thought that maybe it was a child spirit or something, because one of my sisters always would talk to a little boy. But if you really think about it, duendes are known to look like childlike. You know, there are different forms of duendes, and some of them look more childlike, some of them look more like adult and ugly and old. So that is just always something that I just experienced. And that's one of the main experience that I can say that is validation of something, because I wasn't alone when I experienced this. And then recently, like a couple days ago, I hear this thing about people talking about duendes. I'll try to find the clip, but it's saying about how duendes can become invisible. And now I'm thinking maybe my sister would chat with a duende. Maybe we heard a duende. But honestly, in that house, everybody has always experienced something there. Different apparitions, different experiences, but it was always something. Somebody has seen La Santa Muerte. My brother had seen a demon or a big figure hunched over my aunt while she was asleep. It's just a lot in that house, and I feel like when we moved out, there was a difference. You know, we still went through shit in life, but this was a different energy that, you know, it was heavy. My cousins sometimes wouldn't even want to sleep over, and I will interview some of my cousins that they have their channels too, and I'm gonna go ahead and interview them, and so we can talk about, you know, their experience, because they have a lot of things that I know they didn't tell us, but you can tell that they were afraid of something. All in all, I think that was a duende. I have a whole thing that's going on with my living situation. It's not bad, but it's not great, you know? Another thing that I want to talk about is my experience watching the Deliverance. I was hesitant because it didn't, like, I saw it, but I was like, is it or is it not? From the movie, is it from the Demon House? I wasn't too sure. Then it turned out that it is. Why do I yawn so much? I don't know if y'all are like that. Like, I yawn when I'm talking a lot. I watched the movie. The interpretation was fucking, like, crazy. Like, it was just a lot. I don't know if y'all have seen the movie. I don't want to put too much spoilers because I really do hate it. I still haven't seen Beetlejuice, and I am really trying to avoid the fucking spoilers. But this movie was so weird. Like, everybody was saying that it was cursed, and people are still saying that it's cursed. I didn't know about that it was cursed until after I watched it. And let me tell you all my experience. I started watching this movie, and the first time that I watched it, I only got about 5 to 15 minutes, between 5 and 15 minutes of the movie, and I stopped watching it. And about a day or two later, I get sick. Out of nowhere, I am just throwing up and shitting like fucking coffee. I didn't even have coffee, and I was shitting like liquid nonstop. Nothing would stay in my system, y'all. It was so bad that I tried to hold it as much as I could, because it was on Sunday morning. Basically, on Saturday night, I went to a cookout, and I got home like around 4 in the morning, and ever since then, I was just nonstop. And I thought maybe it's something that I ate, but no, because everybody would have been like that. So nonstop. And I was like, fuck, like, I think I have COVID, because I eventually got like body chills, and I was so weak, and it was bad, y'all. Like, it was really bad. So I waited, and I just basically couldn't eat. Went to the ER. Believe it was Tuesday night, and I tell my manager, you know, I told my manager on Sunday night, because Sunday morning, like early in the morning, I was just nonstop. I tell her in the evening, like, I can't go, so I missed Monday. And I try to let it pass. I'm like, maybe I need to let this shit pass. I hope it's nothing too serious. And I couldn't. It was already Tuesday and I was still shitting and vomiting. I would wake up and I was just waking up, vomiting and shitting. No, I'm not pregnant. I went to the ER Tuesday night and they told me that I have the mesenteric adenitis, which is my lymph nodes and around my organs are swollen. And that's why I was throwing up and shitting. But usually I have seen that is caused by, like, my body is trying to fight off a stomach infection, so it converts to that or something. I don't really know how it works, but it is not fun, and it sucks because there's no treatment for it. I always try to see the treatment for it, and it just says to take pain meds. Bitch, I don't want no pain meds. Like, it was just so long. I shouldn't even be talking about this. I want to be talking about scary stuff. So yeah, that's basically like weird. Like, it's such a weird coincidence that happened after watching the Deliverance. I don't want to think too much of it, but if you really think about it, like, it's fucking weird, you know? And so I finished it after I was feeling a bit better. And the scene that really speaks to me, like, creeps me the fuck out, speaks to me vibes, is they had to have a pastor fucking pray for them between scenes and shit. And there's a scene where she is praying and she's not really religious, but she was told, like, you know, these things, like, she knew that this was something not like normal. She knew that this was somewhat supernatural and this was demonic and shit. So she used, like, with any kind of ounce of faith that she had, to pray. And she prayed, and while she was praying, like, saying her lines, she started speaking in tongues, and that was not in the fucking script. And they're saying that is fucking scary. I don't know, like, what y'all think about that. You know, that was not scripted, and that was so well delivered in the fucked up way that I'm saying it, but it was so well delivered. I don't know, guys, that's fucking scary. This is so beyond, like, scary, okay? So another thing, the next thing that I'm gonna be talking about, let me show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all a clip, okay, that is pretty fucked up.
Did she say anything to you?
No, she just poured. Are you burned?
That's one of the first burns I've seen.
This took place in 2022 in Pensacola, Florida. This is something that really did scare me because I used to work not that long ago for a gas station, and I always thought, like, you know, in gas stations there's like the most fucked up crazy people that go. You know, they're trying to get fucked up and they're gonna go to a gas station because they want to get beer, they want to get cigarettes. And it's also very dangerous because you're around gasoline. Like, you have gasoline pump that can explode if somebody fucking, you know, lights. You know, it's just very dangerous. And every job is dangerous, but this is like one of my fears. Like, this was in early 2022. A woman randomly goes to a Circle K gas station. So this girl, this is I believe an African American woman named Betty McFadden. She decides to stumble upon a Circle K in Florida, Pensacola, Florida, whatever. And she decides to do one of the most fucked up things that a human can do, which you can kind of see already that I'm more than certain that this girl suffers from mental issues. So basically what happens is I think she was panhandling, and she gets a gas tank, like to fill up, and she fills it up with gas, and she goes back into the store, and she basically pours the gasoline all over a cashier, and lights her on fire. The burns were so severe. People in the gas station tried to intervene and tried to stop the fire. Her coworker actually even caught fire, but got minor burns, but she still got injured, trying to save her, trying to help her, the girl that was on fire. Even some customers were even trying to help. This guy stepped in as soon as he saw what was going on. The girl was literally on fire. He sees, and what he does, he gets a dirty ass mop bucket, pours it on top of the girl to put the fire out. It was wild. In all this, I don't really know what Betty does. I think Betty, while all of this happened, I guess she just walks away, because everybody's so busy trying to save the cashier. I don't know her name. I can't pronounce her name because they don't really say her name. And the whole eerie thing about this is Betty just seemed to be off. Like, she's obviously not all there. So what Betty does is she leaves, and I guess while she leaves, randomly dumps her clothes. She had some sweaters. She had a hoodie on. She takes it off because I guess it was filled with gasoline. And while she does this, she goes to another fucking store and starts like buying random shit. Like, if she just didn't set someone on fire. Like, what the fuck? Did she really just fucking do that and then go buy some fucking munchies like at another gas station nearby? So as soon as the cops got a word of everything that had happened, the girl was caught on fire, ambulance was sent. This girl was so fucking burned. Like, she was dying. Like, everybody thought that she wasn't gonna make it because of how bad she was burned. Like, her fucking skin was hanging and shit, and Betty was nowhere to be found. They just slowly tried to follow her based on the surveillance that they caught. And Betty had randomly left in a random ass trash can her sweater, and they knew that it was hers because it reeked of gasoline. You can see in the footage of the cops. So they didn't know it was Betty. They just got a description of the girl, so they just followed it. And then they heard a word of like a girl who fit the description. Went up to her friend's house, friend of the family. She was an older lady. I feel so bad for her because she had like no idea what the fuck was going on. Like, she had no idea. All she knew was that Betty went to go get some gas for her gas tank, and that's it. She didn't know what intentions Betty had. The true intentions that were behind what Betty did was fucked up. When they go to that house, that older lady opens the door, and then Betty pops up, and Betty acts like so, like, what's going on, like whatever, like being so like lost, acting like she didn't know what the fuck she just did. I've been so into crime lately that it's just like, oh my god, bro. So Betty's acting like, what's going on? And as Betty approaches the cops can smell the gasoline off of her. So they tell her that they're gonna take her for questioning, and she's just acting so clueless or whatever. When the interrogation happens, y'all, it was so fucked up. They would like question her, and she seemed kind of like stable at first, and then they would leave her alone in the interrogation room, and she was literally having a full-on fucking conversation with no one. And it turns out that she did say they told her she was schizophrenic, but when they would ask her, she would kind of freak out, and she was like, don't ask me that shit again. Or like, when things started to get more bad, like when they realized the true intentions and the true mental state that Betty was in was towards like the end, where she was more talking to herself, and she was saying like crazy stupid shit, where she was like, oh, that bitch is gonna burn, like she ain't gonna make it. Like she was laughing at her, like talking to herself.
Every time you're sleeping, I wish she could say when she could look at her stupid. She brought my baby piece, my baby. She's like, what's going on? I seen it by all flames. You can't disrespect. Don't tell me something that a black person already know. And a black person will never say, and telling a lot of people lawsuits. It was for 2 goddamn white people in there, and for me to jump on the counter and take the cash. You can't. This is what happened. You gave me that shit. I didn't say that I walk up. You said something. The man said, you gonna mock it. Just go to work and mind your business. Me.
And when the cops go back, he starts asking her like why she did it. And no, he even starts telling her how severe like the victim's burns were, that she might not even make it. And Betty was so curious as to how her skin was looking or how bad her burns were. She was so interested in the damage that she did. Like it's almost like it sounds kind of like Betty wanted her to burn black like charcoal. I don't know why. I don't know if it was something that the schizophrenia side of her was thinking maybe this girl was racist. She thought that the victim was racist or something. I don't truly know what her intentions were, other than that she just wanted her to burn bad. She was so interested in how severe the burns were, and I'm like, I don't know, it was so crazy. This is something that fuck, like I would be afraid to be around this bitch, because she was so fucking crazy. Recently she was sentenced to life, because this happened in early 2022. She was sentenced to life because she really wanted to kill this girl. And also says supposedly in some news reports, articles say that she got triggered because they told her to not be panhandling or something like that. But in reality, there is no true understanding as to why Betty did this. So, I mean, the good thing is she's gonna rot where she belongs, but I also do think she's not all there. So, yeah, it was a pretty, intense situation. Like, it is just something that you do not want to go through. I just hope, the girl is okay now. I know she probably never really will be okay, but I was watching the episode recently of Clown Boys. The recent episode of Clown Boys. They were talking about Schoolboy 9. If you haven't heard about this fucking piece of shit, let me explain, okay? So basically, Schoolboy 9 is a piece of shit, creepy ass motherfucker from London, or somewhere in the fucking UK. I really do not give fucks about where he's from, other than that somebody needs to find where he's at and do something about it. So it started off, I think, on TikTok, or I don't know if it was on TikTok and Instagram, but I know it was on TikTok for sure, that he was on TikTok. It's like this, he's like this adult man that dresses up in a little kid school uniform, and he has some weird fetish with enlarging his lips with red lipstick and doing a weird gestures, dressing up fucking weird, and he would like get off in him looking like a boy. Like, he was just so obsessed with it, and he's just posting weird fucking videos, like him getting ready for school or him getting out of school, and him talking like if he's an actual kid in school. And it's just so fucking creepy. And he posts like pictures of kids, but like edited with the way that he has enlarged red lipstick lips, and it's just so creepy. even then he comments on people's, like, on kids' accounts. He also has different accounts, like, with different kids' names, and he cosplays as, like, this little girl named Stephanie, and he wears, like, short skirts, and he's just so creepy. And this is something that's really scary, because me, even as a kid growing up, I've always had that weird like, I've always had that intense fear of, like, predators trying to catch me. Like, even when I was on Kick, I remember one time I made a Kick account, and I didn't even last, like, a week with it, because an old man texted me, and I was like, oh my god, like, he texted me, so he probably knows where I am. Like, I was just freaking out, overthinking shit, so I deleted it. I deleted the app, because I didn't know how to delete the account, so I just deleted it. It's probably somewhere there. But if you have kids, if you have younger siblings, if you have children in your life in general, please monitor their shit, because there's a lot of sick fucks out there, and we need to be more aware on these kinds of situations, because there was even this one video where he was chasing a child and laughing. I think, like, this is like a whole rabbit hole that people say that if we don't look too deep into it, things are gonna happen if they haven't already, or they're gonna continue to happen if they already are happening. I am very with protecting the innocent. Like, I'm always been an advocate for that shit. Like, I hate fucking sick people like that. I hate it. Like, I think they should be under the fucking ground kind of hate, you know, because people say, you're giving them the easy way out. No, I'm not, because if they're out there, they're gonna traumatize more innocent lives. They can be registered as a sex offender and still not give a fuck. Have y'all seen Skeeter Jean's catches? Have you seen Trilogy Media on YouTube? Skeeter Jean, a lot of other people that are awesome with their work, catching all these sick fucks. I want to do that. I want to get into that, because I've been thinking about it, and maybe I'll do a channel separately. It's a very dangerous thing to do, but I think the more that we do this shit, you know, it's gonna lessen this kind of specific category of sick fucks. You know, even I have family members, and I tell my family, like, I don't care, like, if you're a family member and you're watching this, I don't care if you're my family and you do these things, like, you traumatize the innocent, you do stuff, I hate you. Like, you should be dead. Like, if I find something out, you're gonna go to jail. Like, you're done. I do not give a fuck. Like, I'm with protecting, you know, a child, a baby. How can you see them like that? It is such an innocent age, you know, and a child, every single child deserves to have the perfect childhood, you know, like, just worrying about children things, you know, worrying about the latest toy that they want. No child ever deserves to go through that. No child. And you can tell, like, the intentions of this sick fuck. Like, just search up Schoolboy 9, and you're just, like, you're just gonna fucking hate this piece of shit. Fucking sick fuck. There was even some people on Reddit and other accounts saying that they knew this guy, that he was just such a weird person, that he would go dressed up, like, with skirts and acting, like, super weird with makeup, trying to act like if he was actually a little girl, talking to little girls, like, whatever. But no, that's just a fucking excuse. Like, if you say that you're a fucking grown man, like, why are you acting like a kid? because you're a fucking pervert. You're a sick fuck, and you're trying to have this excuse to slither your fucking sick head, your sick body, into a fucking child. No, you sick fuck. You need to fucking die, bro. I could give two fucks. Like, that shit fucking triggers me, y'all. Oh, okay. Another thing that has been blowing up, it's been out for a while, but another thing that has been blowing up a lot is the Howard Stern. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but Howard Stern, Howard Stern is this very like big person, and he was just like this very big person who would do these crazy interviews, like very, overrated. I mean, rated R shit, like just talking about like sex or like crazy stories or just interviewing interesting people, crazy people, anything like that. And sometimes people would call in and just talk about certain things, random things. And there was this one particular episode that was just beyond crazy. And I really do like how Howard, how he proceeded to remain professional and calm. So this guy calls in and calls himself Clay, which is obviously not his name because he's not stupid. But he was basically confessing to murders that he would do. And he would basically like murder like hookers or prostitutes, like people he thinks that nobody would really care about, I guess. We just fucked up, and he would describe like how he killed them. And Howard was like asking him questions as to like why. But I think Howard kind of took the lead of like with the mentality of a therapist, like trying to understand his mind, because he knew that this guy was being honest about what he was doing. So he was trying to understand his intentions. He was trying to understand what caused him to be like that. And you can tell that Howard was like concerned, but he was like professional about it. I wouldn't know what I would do in that. Like, I would have called the cops like on the other line and just tried having them track this fucking fucker. And they were trying to find like they found a lot of similarities. Like, this guy kind of outed himself, but I don't think they found out who he was, because there was like two similar killers within that area that would do things to specific. They had like these two killers had specific like similar victims, so I don't really think that they figured it out. But honestly, that was a really crazy thing. Here's a little clip about it. If I was you, watch the whole video. It's pretty crazy. It's fucking crazy. Okay, I'm gonna read something from Reddit. This is something that I'm afraid to talk about because I'm actually alone. So this is about an entity that we call mimics. Okay, mimics tend to appear like not physically, but more like audibly, where you can hear someone, like, let's say you know you're home alone and you can hear someone that you know, like a familiar voice. Most of the time it's a familiar voice, mimicking your, like, the person that you would expect it would be, you know? This is a very scary thing. I don't know if y'all have experienced it. I know for sure I have, but I cannot recall exactly when. But have you all ever been like home alone, where you know you're alone and you can hear someone's voice that you know and you're like, the fuck? No one's here. You think you're tripping, but you're not, because most of the time it can be a mimic. So somebody in Reddit said, what do we know about mimics? I'm living in a new place and it's happened to me twice now. Once to my grown daughter and possibly with the dog. It's a phenomenon where you know you're alone, but you hear someone's voice or laugh very clearly, as if they're in the same room with you. In my case, I heard the voice of my short-term roommate. I knew she wasn't home. It wasn't very clear, and it wasn't the voice she used when she was playing with the dog. I'm fucking scared. My daughter heard my laugh as if I was in the bathroom with her while she was in the shower. I was not home. She and I and the dog also heard a growl which didn't sound threatening, kind of the half growl funny voices she makes when she's getting comfortable. She reacted to it and growled a little back. Okay. That is fucking scary. If y'all have ever been in that situation, please comment that below, because honestly. Yeah, somebody put, yeah, it has happened to me a few months ago. I have a clapper, one of those things that will turn my bedroom light if I clap. Okay, so I'm in my bedroom and I was going to turn off my light, so I clapped twice, and I shit you not, I heard a third clap, and I live alone currently. I don't think it's anything to be afraid of, so I'm okay with it if I have to be. Bruh, you cannot be okay with that. That's fucking scary, because it usually starts off with something so innocent and should just be going crazy after that. You know, you don't want to come out in a fucking documentary and have a movie after you and your family get possessed. My brother has said he saw me walking down a street in California. I was living in Washington State at the time. I've also seen a ghost of myself walking next to me. I've also had scratches on my back. I've also heard a lady laughing in the middle of the night. My radio had turned on by itself, and I've seen dense negative energy smoke in front of me as if it were alive. I don't know, guys. Like, that is just something. If y'all have ever experienced anything like that, please let me know. I don't know, what are your thoughts on it, or do you have any explanation? And if you don't have an explanation, what do you think it is? Good luck. Prayers to y'all. Okay? Okay, so I believe that is it for today. Thank you all for joining. I hope you guys did enjoy this. I'm getting used to this. I'm gonna have notes for the next podcast so I can be more like on top of everything. But I hope you guys did enjoy. This is my first official podcast, and remember, there is always somebody behind you or under you, maybe even both. I would check if I was you. Thank you for watching, guys. I love you all. Please check out, show me some love down in the comments, and a thumbs up to help me reach some more awesome people like you. I'm also gonna be posting this on Spotify, maybe other platforms, but I'm pretty sure Spotify, because that's the only thing I know how to set up. But Thank you. I love you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Always watch this in the dark because it does not make sense to watch this with light on. Remember, there's always somebody behind you, under you, or maybe even both.
¿Quién está aquí? Is somebody here? Somebody here?
Behind you, I heard behind you.
Behind me?
And when my husband closed the trunk, the kid disappeared.
Say the name of the hospital. Merce.
Always watch this in the dark.